anyone who did not get the bracelet? Okay, and anyone whose bracelet is broken? Okay, intact. Now what we do is that we will do till the section which is on the various bhumis. Various bhumis meaning the bodhisattva. As we traverse along the path, gade, gade, paragade, okay, and parasangate, bodhi, swaha. So when you reach the gade, gade, paragade, third one, path of seeing, paragade, at that point, then from there, paragade till bodhi, swaha, before the bodhi, swaha, which is paragade, parasangade, bodhi, parasangade, a path of seeing and path of meditation. These two paths are split into 10 divisions. These two paths, part of seeing and a part of meditation, combined together. These two combined together and then split into 10. These 10 came to be known as 10 bhumis or the 10 bodhisattva grounds. 10 bhumis or the 10 bodhisattva grounds. So then the whole description each of the ground is going to be given in this. So at that point, then we will just give the overview picture, then we'll stop there. Okay. So okay, 51 I think. Page 60, stanza 50.
59.
Huh?
59, page 59.
Page 59.
Stanza 50.
Stanza 50. Okay, page 59, stanza 50. By dwelling in the lamp of wisdom, it turns into peace supreme. So the collection of the sutra says, by exploring yourself, you should rest. By dwelling in the lamp of wisdom, you learn how to acquire the ultimate analysis. Ultimate analysis, to subject things to the ultimate analysis. Then you use the wisdom to see what is really there on the object. What is really there on the object? What is really there from the object? Nothing's from the object. Nothing's from the object. Things are there. Where are they? Things are all operating where? On the subjective. Subjective. Okay, so about this one, it's the things all operating in my mind. When we say this is little ambiguous. There is ambiguity there. In my mind, I think the Shaha said the projection mind, and some say in the mind, some say what? More like in the mind. So in the mind is more like the Chittamatras, the philosophy, where things are like a reflection in the mind, a reflection in the mirror. The mirror is the mind, and what is reflected is just in the mind. This is the Chittamatra's philosophy. But when we speak about this, the subjecting to the ultimate analysis, looking for the objective reality, then we come to real objectively things there. So then, how are things there? Subjectively, meaning your mind is projecting, like the movie projector. So the movie is not in the projector. Movie is on the screen. You're getting it? But it's projected by the projector. The moment the projector stops, the movie stops. So this movie is on the screen, but it's not from the screen, right? So this movie is projected by the projector. Likewise, everything that we see around is all projected by a mind, a mind like the projector. So we have to see two things with the mirror and the reflection mirror. Mirror is like the mind, reflection is like the object, and these two, is there a gap or not? Is there a gap, space gap? Mirror and the image of the mirror. There's no gap. So if there is no gap, it is 2D. It is two-dimensional. Two-dimensional, whereas the movie and the movie projector, is there a gap?
Yes.
There's a gap, it's 3D. You're getting it? So how things are projected, it is not like 2D. It is not like in the mind. It is like 3D. It's a projection, is not the nature of the mind. So both the schools, Chiddamata school and the Prasangic School, Both say that things are by the power of the mind, subjective. But though the two schools say subjective, how they are subjective, these two are very different. One says that it is like the mirror and the reflection in the mirror. And Madhyamika says, no, mirror and the reflection mirror is just 2D. It's just 2D. It does not have the externality. Whereas movie projector is behind you, the movie is here in front of you. There's a space. There's a space there is external. So Madhyamika, particular Prasanga Madhyamika, I say that everything is projection of a mind, but things exist still as external. Externality is there. Everything is projection by a mind, and things do exist as external. They are like the movie and a movie projector. Okay, this is what we need to keep in mind. By dwelling in the lamp of wisdom, meaning that when you're able to subject things to ultimate analysis, then it turns into peace supreme, where when you subject all the miseries of a life to the ultimate analysis, what happens to the miseries? Yes, the miseries dissolve. Right? The object, the flower is dissolved because we're looking for the objective, and objectively there's no miseries. You see that the miseries is just coming from a mind. The moment you realize that it's coming from a mind, your mind will instantly be uplifted. You'll feel the peace. That is the supreme peace. It turns into supreme peace supreme. So the collection of the sutras says, so the sutras in the teachings of the Buddha, what it says is by exploring yourself to see whether it exists subjectively to exploring yourself, and you should rest. Then your mind will see that there's nothing really there from the object which can affect you. So then what happens? Say, if you are in a place whereby, right, your right neighbor says, oh, my house is leaking because of you. Other one says, my garden, there's a problem because of your dog. And another one saying that say, my window is broken because of your son. Right, everybody is saying like this. And one day you realize that this neighbor also moves to America. The neighbor moves to India. The other moves to Nigeria. Right, you see that now nobody's bothering you. You find the rest. Finally. Right? So likewise you see that when you're able to see things that objectively nothing's there, then your mind, there's nothing there from the object to pull you and push you. Then your mind finds the rest. That rest was the opposite of rest. Hey, what's the opposite of rest? Anxiety, involuntary push, effort, turbulence, stress, tension, restlessness. Okay, very good. So all these are the states when you don't have the peace. So at that point, when you see that things are all empty of objective existence, then your mind will, for the first time, you'll find the real peace. Okay, in your meditation, so when you really get a glimpse of emptiness, then this peace is what you're going to feel from within. And you may feel that, okay, now it's peaceful, it's fine. No. There's turbulence there. You're unaware because this turbulence is 24/7 with us. It's never been a time where the turbulence is not happening, because of which you don't feel the turbulence there. Actually, turbulence is there. How do you know this? For example, like this sound. The sound of this AC. Saying you just keep it on for 24/7, you will not notice that. The moment the light is off, this you switch it off, then you will feel the peace of the silence of this sound. And then I see I'm being disturbed by the sound all these 24/7. You're getting it? Likewise, the mind will feel that acute peace which we never experienced before. Because it is something so profound we never experienced before, it is so tranquil. Okay, that is known as the peace supreme. So the collection of the sutra says, by exploring yourself, you should rest. Children blessed by tenfold powers. Okay, now I'm not going to go into tenfold powers, all these divisions there. Children, if you're interested, I'll be very happy to provide with you. And nowadays it's very easy to find all these tenfold powers, all these divisions. Tenfold powers force are like the crescent of the moon, but those beings with afflictions do not see the Tathagatas. Okay, so now say after seeing this Dharmadhatu within, after seeing this Dharmadhatu, then how will I grow? Gate gate paragate parasamgate bodhisattva. How will I grow? So those people who don't see the Dharmadhatu, who don't put effort to see the Dharmadhatu, and who don't see the Dharmadhatu, this is one state. And then who see the Dharmadhatu, then how will they proceed? Children blessed by tenfold powers force. Tenfold powers force means Buddha's power. Through the power of the Buddha. Okay, by the way, it doesn't mean that some are blessed by the Buddha, some are not blessed by the Buddha. This is not the case. The case is that where the example given is the king of the rain, or the god of the rain, it's just metaphor. God of the rain showers rain in all the places equally, but where there is a seed will germinate into a shroud. Where there is no seed will not happen, nothing will happen there. Likewise, the Buddha's blessings is for everyone, is to everyone, but where there is a karmic imprint and some effort from the sentient beings, then the germination will take place. The germination of the crops will take place. Okay, so children meaning those blessed meaning those who have who put a little bit of effort in awakening this Buddha nature, in the identifying the Dharmadhatu. So these, by the power of the Buddha's the tenfold powers, are like the crescent of the moon. The moon, crescent meaning, the moon, at one point the moon, the white part is very small, very fine line, and then this fine line gets increased from the day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it keeps increasing. So this moon represents your mind, and the whiteness of the moon represents your Dharmadhatu. So Dharmadhatu becomes more and more manifest. But those beings with afflictions, where one is not interested at all, one simply sucked up in the indulgence of the dream of samsara. So with afflictions, they do not see the Tathagata. They do not see the true nature. Tathagata is not outside. Tathagata inside. When the Tathagata inside is seen, Tathagata meaning the Buddha inside is seen, then you see all the Tathagatas outside as well. 52. Just as hungry ghosts see the ocean to be dry, those obscured by ignorance think that Buddhas don't exist. So it's not the bias of the Buddha, it is about your effort. If you put effort to awaken the Buddha nature inside, the Buddhas are always there to help you. So, although the water, the river Ganga, all this river, they have the water, it's full of water there, but the hungry ghosts, they don't see the water there. It's not because that place does not have the water, because of their karma. They don't have the karma to see the water there. They are so thirsty. They go towards the river, but they don't see the water there. They just see the dry riverbed. See the ocean to be dry. Those obscured by ignorance think that Buddhas don't exist. Because of the ignorance, then for example, like the dirty glasses on, then you look at the Mount Kailash, it's very where is the clean Mount Kailash? It's not there, you complain. It's not that the clean Mount Kailash is not there, it is there. But we don't see it because of our dirty mind, because of our defiled mind. 53. What can the Bhagavan meaning the Buddha, what can the Bhagavan do for inferiors and those whose merit is low? Okay, so some people, they're not really interested. For example, in this kind of exchange, studies, they're not really interested. No? And some people who are even already connected, and still they're not really interested. Okay, it's very strange. So why this happening is because of the inferior of the merit accumulation. Merit accumulation is not there, and in fact I'm very interesting. Tibetan programs. Oftentimes, the wives, they can somehow drive the husbands into dharma, and sometimes the husband can drive the wife into dharma. It's beautiful. once the husband was little, macho, rough, and the wife was coming to Tibet House programs, and she was somehow telling the husband, right, not really so strongly, just indicating, and so deliberately opening the laptop in front of him, and then listening to teachings there, and then slowly he becomes interested. Slowly, not full. Hey, you want to go to Tibet House to meet Geshe? Not really. Okay. And slowly he becomes interested. It takes like 2 years. And then he starts to open his own laptop. then start to, can I come to Tibet House? So this is how we can help the sentient beings. One time, somebody who is doing Narendra Master's course, there's one lady, and she invited me to give a public talk, 2 days talk. Then her daughter and the husband were waiting in the house. So I went there. I introduced, the daughter was waiting at the door, and the husband inside. I met him. I shook hand and I introduced myself. I'm Geshe Dorji. And he said, whether I like it or not, I know you already. He said, I know you already. Whether I like it or not, I have to listen to you every day. the wife was deliberately putting on the Narendra Master's course teaching loudly so that her husband and her daughter both could hear. So he said that whether I like it or not, I have to listen to you every day. Okay, so, and then they slowly, gradually, they become interested. This is how. So this is how we can help the beings. Don't force them too much. In fact, there's one American lady, who was a student of one of my teachers who passed away now, and she was forcing her husband to become a Buddhist. And the husband was a physicist, a brilliant physicist. After all these many years of being together, and then forcing all the time to become a Buddhist, and then he said, "Yes, I'll become a Buddhist, provided you can answer my question." And she was very happy. She thought that Buddhism is my area, right? And she said, yes, whatever question that you might have. Then he asked, Buddhism accepts law of karma. Yes or no? Yes. Buddhism accepts law of karma. Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes. If you accept law of karma, where is free will? This is the question, right? You give me this answer, I'll become Buddhist right now. Then she did the answer. So she wrote to my teacher, right? Oh, this question coming up, I don't know how to give the answer. And the question I have to read. My teacher was already in late 80s. So I have to read the emails. And then I was also very excited with this question. I printed this out and went to the teacher and expecting to listen to so that I could also learn it. And I asked this question to him. Sir, this is a question. I was just anxiously waiting for his answer so that I'd learn something. Then the answer that came from him was that he said, okay, I was actually waiting, and he's very relaxed. He said, Dorji, give some answers. Okay, so therefore the point is, what I'm saying is that some people, they are so pushy, right? This is also not good. Be very skillful, The finally, even to help somebody to be in dharma, to be in towards the line of happiness, towards the understanding of interdependences, to make the person keen into studies. Even for that, we should be very skilled. Don't push them so much. Very skillfully, gradually, it's a human tendency to eventually go into that if you are skillful. Okay. 53. What can the Bhagavan do for the inferiors and those whose merit is low? So, say somehow the fact that you all come to this program is the clear indication that you have a karmic connection with the Dharma. One, no doubt. But karmic, those who have the karmic connection with the Dharma, again there are so many degrees, right? Some are like 30 degrees, 40 degrees, 50 degrees, 70 degrees connection. If you have like say 50 degrees, oh, I'm better than those people who have 30, 40, and then there are millions and billions of people, I'm more fortunate than them. Don't remain complacent. Okay, there are who are 60%, 6 degree, 70, 80 degree. Okay, which means that the accumulation merit is like 60. I have to increase this merit accumulation, right? So even the merit low, it says those whose merit is low, we can increase the merit. So increasing the merit, there are ways and means to do that. Rejoicing in the virtues of others, and reading the books and see how much, reading the standard books, and to see how to engage virtues like compassion and so forth to the best you can. Okay, so the merit accumulation can be increased. It is just like the supreme of jewels put in the hand of one who is blind. So the Dharmadhatu is with everyone, but the Buddha's blessings is also with everyone. But the only thing is that if you're not ready, then a gold put in the hands of a blind person, or gold put in the hand of the infant, there's no difference, right? Okay, 54. But for beings who have acquired merit, the Buddha dwells before their eyes with the 32 marks shining bright in the luminous and glorious light. So technically, the idea is that if you become a Buddha, your mind in any ways, for your mind there's no death, don't forget it. Your mind never dies. At the most, the mind can switch from one body to the next body. That is known as I die. I die means my mind will leave this body and will take next form. That is what we call as the I die. But the mind per se, it will not disappear. The mind will simply continue the journey endlessly. So for the Buddhas, there is no death. There's no death. And say the analogy, if our karmic connection with the Buddha is so pure, right? Somehow if you're able to cleanse your negative karma so well, the purification happens so well because of the wisdom of emptiness and bodhicitta and the vajrasattva practice and so forth, then you can see the Buddhas right there. Even these Tangas, they start to talk to you, start to give you direct teachings. It happens. Okay. So with this, the point is that the Buddhas are forever existent. The moment you become Buddha, you'll forever remain as a Buddha, endlessly in time and space, and your emanations just exist everywhere in the atom of the universe, according to the need of the sentient beings. So with this in mind, the analogy given is that the moon is there, the full moon is there, and then there's a water body there, and the reflection is always formed in this water body. The moment the water body dries up, the reflection disappears. It's not that the moon disappears, the moon is still there. Reflection disappears because the water is not there. Likewise, we don't have the water of the merit, we don't have the water of the pure karma, then the reflection of the Buddha cannot come out. The manifestation Buddha cannot come out for us. Where you are prepared with the water of the clean water of the merit and the wisdom, then the reflection is automatically formed. The Buddha does not require any effort to create the reflection in your mind. Okay. 54. But for beings who have acquired merit, the Buddha dwells before their eyes, right there, with the 32 marks, 32 major marks, and the 80 minor marks, which we just enumerated last time. Not really enumerated, mentioned last time. Shining bright in the red. With the 32 marks shining bright. 32 marks meaning 32 major marks, and the 80 minor marks, bright in the luminous and the glorious light. Say with this glory, the light, with this light and the exuberance, the Buddha will appear in front of you. 55. Though the protectors Rupakaya may remain for many aeons to guide those in need of guidance, it is, okay, there's a typo there, it is just this dhatu. It is not that this dhatu that is different. Okay, there's a little bit of typo. Correct it? It is not that. Instead of it is just. It is not that this dhatu that is different. It is not that this dhatu is different. Okay, so the Rupakaya, the Buddha manifests in different forms. Buddha manifests in different forms. For example, for some, the Buddha manifests in the form of Arimanjushri, some in the form of the Arya Vajrasattva, Arya Tishvara, and so forth. And the Buddha Shakyamuni and so forth. The Buddha appears in different forms, some in female form, some in male form, some, say for example, it is said that the Arimanjushri appears to Lama Tsongkhapa. Lama Tsongkhapa used to have the communion direct vision of Arimanjushri. And then Lama Tsongkhapa's student, Toten Jambil Gyaso, one of his students, also used to have this direct communion with Arimanjushri. So the two Arimanjushris are very different. Lama Tsongkhapa, the Arimanjushri, the Lama Tsongkhapa is having the vision, is very reserved, does not talk as much. Whereas the Arimanjushri, which appears to Toten Jambil Gyaso, Lama Tsongkhapa's student, he is more openly talking. It's the same Arimanjushri, manifesting in different forms. So while these different appearances happen, the dhatu from which all these appearances come, for example, the space from which the water, some they manifest in the form of rain, some in the form of frost, some in the form of snow, some in the form of hailstorm, right? So while there are different appearances there, but the source is the same, Dharmadhatu. Okay, Dharmadhatu is not different. It's not that dhatu that is different, dhatu, Dharmadhatu. 56. Ascertaining the object of the mind, consciousness will engage in it. Once your very own awareness becomes pure, you will dwell right in the Bhumi's nature. Okay, now, ascertaining the object of the mind. So, the mind, finally, what we should be knowing is, we should be knowing the Dharmadhatu inside. We should know the Dharmadhatu. So from knowing the Dharmadhatu, then we have to go through the journey. Gade, para samgade, bodhisattva. This is how we have to go. Ascertain the object of the mind, consciousness will engage in it. Once you ascertain what this Dharmadhatu is, then the consciousness, our consciousness will engage with it, hold of the emptiness of the products from Buddha nature, and then as you keep doing this, what happens? Mental defilements are being constantly cleansed. So that mental defilements getting cleansed, ignorance getting cleansed, that is known as gate, para samgade, bodhisattva. Once your very own awareness becomes pure, then on that basis, when this ignorance becomes cleansed, then this awareness becomes very clean. When this becomes clean, you will dwell right in the Bhumi's nature. So then you will see that you are just that very Bhumi. That very Bhumi, the Bhumi meaning the Bodhisattvas, the various stages. Then you see that you are the first Bhumi, in the second Bhumi, and the third Bhumi. The characteristics, the quality characteristics of the Bodhisattvas. This is how you proceed through the various Bhumis. Step 57. The great and mighty one, supreme abode, Akanishta, that is so beautiful, and consciousness, all three of them fuse into a single one, I say. Okay, so Nagarjuna, what he's saying is that the great and the mighty one, supreme abode, great and the mighty one, supreme abode, referring to the Buddha in the Akanishta, the heaven, which is Sambhogaya, which is the enjoyment body of the Buddha. Enjoyment body of the Buddha, so beautiful. Okay. And consciousness, so all three of them meaning the one, the Sambhogaya, the Nirmanakaya, two, one for the Arya beings, one for the ordinary beings, two, and then third, the Dhatu, the Dharmadhatu. So these three, you will realize that there's no difference. And consciousness, all three of them fuse into a single one. These three, the same Dhatu manifests in the form of Sambhogaya, same Vajradhatu manifests in the form of Nirmanakaya, and what is really there is the Dharmadhatu. So these three, the Arya Nagarjuna says that these three, you will see them as just fused into one.
Isn't the Istanbul